Welcome to God's Design for His Daughters, a mother-daughter retreat. This retreat is a part of a video series for families called the Faith Legacy Series, which we've designed to help families grow spiritually.
Picture this, moms and daughters getting away by themselves in a retreat setting, and they really enjoy each other. They really connect, and they're talking about a very important topic, sex.
So, the goals of this retreat, obviously, goal number one, to help these young ladies define what it means to be a woman, particularly a woman of God. Two, we want the moms and the daughters to grow closer together so that their relationship is strong for the teenage years that are ahead. And thirdly, we want them to talk about sex. It's so hard to do, but especially to talk about sex from a godly Christian perspective, as a gift from God.
This is so important because our culture is screaming sex at our girls and giving them all the wrong uses and wrong models. This lets us, as Christian families, counteract the culture. And this is where it ought to happen, is in the home. Now, a lot of parents are really nervous about this and don't really know what to do. This retreat helps that happen, and it is such a need that families have. It's easy to invite friends, other girls and their moms along with this. So remember that as you plan this retreat. Invite others, because this is a need so many families have, talking about sex in a healthy way.
And then one other thing, so many families, Christian families, fail to talk about God at home. And when moms and dads speak about faith at home with their kids' lives are different. And so our goal would be that this retreat would be a part of your effort to help moms and dads share faith at home on an intentional and regular way. And with the idea that the church culture would become a culture that is not one where parents drop their kids off, but where parents view themselves as a primary nurturer of their children's faith.
Let's talk about what happens during the retreat. On Friday night, the ladies and their daughters will talk about a woman of God is cherished. It begins with a meal. They're going to have some community building. That's so important. They've got to have a lot of fun together at this retreat. Then there will be a video section, and as the girls watch the video, they'll be moved and inspired, but then there's always conversation afterwards. Conversations between the girls and their moms, and sometimes also between the girls and their friends. After the video, there's going to be a letter from mom and a letter from dad that talks about why their daughter is cherished. So some of this will require some planning ahead of time, but we've made that all very easy for you to identify in the implementation materials. After that, they're going to be given a gift, and that gift is a bracelet.
The charm bracelet, which has 3 charms on it, which go along with the themes for the retreat. A woman of God is cherished, pure, and faithful to the end. And so there's the word cherished on this heart, and then the word pure, and the word faithful. And so the girls begin to wear this Friday night already as a way of helping etch into their mind and their heart what it means to be a woman of God. And then there is it's called the From Me to You journal. And the intent is for mom to actually write the first entry into it with that letter that she's writing to her daughter. And then the daughter can write back. And they just pass it back and forth over the course of the years ahead to continue to stay in touch and support each other whenever they want to write a note to each other.
On Saturday morning, they discuss a woman of God is pure. Now, they begin with the community building, so they have fun, and they better get to know the other people there too. And they're making posters of how the world defines beauty as it makes some cutouts.
And the neat thing about that is that the outtake from it is that real beauty is on the inside. And there's a scripture reference that they talk about there.
Then, to discuss sex, everyone watches a video that does a beautiful job of presenting age-appropriate sexual explanations for them from a Christian perspective. But that's not where it ends. They continue with a panel discussion, and you'll get panel participants from your own church. We'll show you how to do that in implementation materials. In that discussion, every topic is open, and the girls and their moms even ask questions by writing them on slips of paper and passing them in. It makes for wonderful conversation. After that, there's another video section that everyone watches, and then they discuss together. And then it's time for lunch. This is girls' lunch. So it's going to last a couple hours, and it might even take them into an adventure finding a local mall.
Or getting their fingernails done, or their toenails done. Whatever is fun for mom and daughter. And then finally, Saturday afternoon, a woman of God is faithful to the end. It starts off with some really fun event. It's called Project Runway, where the girls turn toilet paper into wedding dresses. And so if you have a larger group, it's a competition. If it's not, it's just, no matter what, it's just great fun. And from that, then there's the video where what does it mean to be faithful? And then right in the middle of that video, they stop. And the moms will do a blind trust walk with their daughters, where by the end of the trust walk, they're leading their daughters, who are blindfolded, with the journal, and they lead them to the cross. And so the daughter at the end of the trust walk is holding on to the journal in one hand and the cross in the other. And of course you can already begin to picture the teachings that they would learn from that. And then at the end of that, mom and daughter talk about what the meaning of that trust walk was. And after that, they come back together, and if they missed any of those salient, poignant things, they'll hear it from each other, because there'll be a large group debrief of what did that event mean. It's very special. And then they go back and they watch the last piece of the video, where Gretchen, the speaker, talks about the death of her grandmother and how she didn't know how she'd make it through the funeral. And Dad said, honey, just look to the cross. So it brings all of that home together. And then at the end of that, it's time for a blessing. And the moms circle their daughters, and they speak a blessing as a group. And then the daughters come to their moms, and they speak individual blessings. And finally, the daughters speak a blessing to their mothers. And it's an amazing, emotional, affectionate, sweet time. What a great way to end it. And then just to end it with a lighthearted touch, they take their journals and they decorate them. And there's a segment on your other video that shows how that happens.
As you can tell, this is an event that the girls will likely remember their whole life. So thank you for your important ministry facilitating this event. And we've tried to make it as easy as possible for you. Along with the 3 DVDs, we have a lot of printout materials. And there's a section here for retreat leaders, all your promotional materials, everything you need for your orientation meeting with the moms, and then the retreat folder. So it's all plain and simple before you.
One more thing, don't try to do this alone. If it's done as a team, it can be so much fun, and it takes the pressure off. And one other thing, you might consider inviting the dads to serve the dinner, and then they got to get out of there, because they got to get to the important stuff between moms and daughters.
Have a great time in your church finding out God's design for His daughters to be cherished,
Pure,
and faithful to the end.